Biscuit. Hey, Biscuit, why are we called the Petal Cafe? So many. Biscuit, you seem to be cutting out slightly for me on Discord. I don't know if you are. I don't think you are on Twitch. Just Discord. So I'm gonna unmute Zencaster, I think is what I'm gonna do. That might help. Great. Where am I? I lost my run sheet. Where did it go? Where did it go?
It ran away.
You did.
All than a run sheet. Gonna grow legs and run off.
Is your refrigerator running? You should go catch it. I know. It's a classic. Hi, friends. I'm Cookie. I'm a variety gamer focusing on Nintendo and indie gems. I usually stream on twitch.tv/cookie_TPC, but right now I'm on hiatus to focus on this here podcast. Elevator pitch.
Yeah, I'm Sammy, aka Highfroggychair, and I make goofy, wholesome content on the internet. You can find me at Twitch TV/Highfroggychair, or also on Twitter under the same username. I aim to make wholesome and safe spaces on the internet, and just to be clear, when I say safe spaces, I mean safe for marginalized folks and not bigots. There seems to be a lot of discussion going on of what a safe space is.
Oh.
I don't know why in the streamer world right now. A safe space by definition is a safe space for marginalized people. Nobody else. I don't care. It's what it is. There's no discussion to be had here, so I don't allow meanies and bullies into my spaces.
Good. I support that.
Okay, I'll turn my gain up. That should help. I do my best.
We do.
I agree.
We do. Yeah, all kinds of news this week. We are excited to news. No, last Sunday?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it was a Sunday.
I think it was weirdly on Sunday.
Time means nothing. It was last week. Whatever.
Can I, since I'm only still in, like, I just made it to the third area, the Cobalt Cliffs or something. That's the one. None of these updates affect me, I don't think. Do they? Are they all post-game?
I assume it's post-game because the number of the quest is 90-something. And that's
okay.
That's pretty far along. So I'm gonna assume it's probably at least the first big battle, quote-unquote, post-game.
Okay.
You'll know what I'm talking about when you're there, because I just watched somebody else do it on stream. I watched Mouse Temper do it. So right after they did the first big battle with you-know-who, that's when they were able to do it, because she was sitting outside the little camp, and I was like, oh.
Alright, good to know. So I don't have to worry about any of this.
Yeah, you're good for a while.
Indeterminate date.
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So since I apparently only ever start a game with plant type, I already know which one I'm getting.
Plant type.
Fate has always been on my side in the particular cuteness of these creatures.
So cute. Yeah, I usually get a little water type, so yeah. I love that little duck.
Yeah. How about you, Biscuit? You're going with the duck? Yeah. He does kind of look like an Animal Crossing character. Yeah.
I just love how they all have Spanish-sounding names, and then there's just Quaxley. Like,
it's a very Disney kind of name.
It is. I love him.
Oh, okay. It's just next on the roster. Gotcha. I want there to be a Pokemon game where your starters are like a normal, a ghost, and an electric. I don't know, I'm just pulling things out of the
basically you want to play a Pokemon randomizer is what you're saying.
Yes.
Aha, I can hook you up.
But I really I really like the ghost and psychic types personally, so I have a special place in my heart for all of those folks. Because back in the day when I played the original poking card game, oh my god. Pokemon trading card game, I had an all psychic deck. Which of course was not very practical for the purposes of tournament, but I really liked it.
But it was cute, and that's all that matters.
And color coordinated.
Exactly.
I want to talk about some controversy that I came across today, which is people are apparently upset about the avatars in the new Scarlet and Violet game.
They have to be upset about something.
Apparently their eyes are too round. And this is a significant problem. Okay. Think about Ash Ketchum. And he's got these like really vertical eyes with these really vertical ovals. And the character designs right now in Scarlet and Violet are much rounder in appearance, which are apparently less expressive and also, like too much of a departure from the traditional design of the game. And rage.
Sounds like Pokemon fans.
I'm serious. People are upset. Yes, but not Pokemon. See what I mean?
But the avatars change a little bit every single game, so I don't understand what's going on.
I'm just reporting the news.
Oh, I know, I've seen it. I'm just like, y'all are weird.
You're looking it up in live time, real time. We need a ticker across our screen. Yes. You don't agree that it's a problem.
Okay, but they want Pokemon to be realistic, but not too realistic. If it's too realistic, then they're mad, okay? If the grass has to be perfect, but not too perfect.
Oh, that's good.
God, I hope they change that, because that was one of the worst things in Arceus, was how gendered it was. It's like, can we stop now? Thank you.
There's actually a petition right now to knock that stuff off.
I don't think it's gonna do anything, dude. And the clothes! Have you seen the pants? So rude. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think clearly Nintendo is getting with it just because of, Animal Crossing and other things that they've done recently in their other games. But I think Game Freak is still a little behind on the times.
Well, I don't think it's not just Game Freak. It's also the fact that
there's many
leading studio is in a culture which prioritizes different things than we do over here on this side of the world, for better or worse. It'll get there. I don't know.
Right, I mean, we just got skin tones in Pokemon, so they're...
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, like I get the baby steps, but I kind of want to kick him in the butt a little to keep... Take another baby step, please.
Yeah. Like the kind of baby step where you just fall over in order to reach the finish line before your opponent.
Right, because like we're going to discuss today, there were plenty of demos that are able to do pronouns and non-gendered language just fine. So Game Freak just doesn't have an excuse. I just don't... I mean, I don't want to hear it.
That's fair. I always like to play, like, the benefit of the doubt card, but that's valid. Like, they really should just...
In 2022, I just think it's bullcrap.
That's fair. That's fair. But, yeah, I do. Speaking of, non-gendered protagonists, Kirby Demo out today.
Yeah!
See,
so excited.
It's so easy with Kirby. Kirby is very clearly a they.
just a little blob.
Yep.
Also why I like ooblets, because you're kind of a human, but not really. Nobody has a gender in ooblets. You're just there dancing.
I like that.
It's delightful.
So I saw a bunch of folks playing the demo on streams today as I was trying to concentrate on my work. Ultimately, I had to turn Twitch off because I was like, no, I want to watch. But I did set it up to download, so it's ready to go on my Switch for later this evening. Oh, yeah. It looks so good. So good. Yeah. Which is? Oh, triangle strategy? Gotcha. Awesome. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm nervous for how big the game's gonna be, because...
Wow. Wow.
My little baby Switch.
And that's the demo? Dude.
Yeah.
Goodness me. Moving on. In the non-Nintendo realm, excellent news for me and Sammy. There is a new DLC coming out for 2 Point Hospital this month.
I just saw this, like... I was, like, on the phone with Biscuit, and I was like, hey, 2 Point Hospital's getting a DLC?
Yep. Yep. To tie us over till 2 Point Campus comes out in May. So on March 15th, we'll be able to download, I don't remember what it's called, Speedy something.
Yeah, Speedy Recovery, I think.
Yeah, ambulance management for 2 Point Hospital.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's going to be bonkers. I'm looking forward to it. I learned today that early access is coming to Have a Nice Death on March 8th. Yeah. Yeah. It looks so cute. Well, the early access will be on Steam. I think it is getting a wider release eventually. We've got the BAFTA Game Award nominations came out today. And I was pleased to see some of our favorites on that list. Yeah. We've got some indie friends in Chicory, Eastward, and Toem all were nominated in one category or another. And yeah, best multiplayer game and best evolving game, which was an interesting category, Mario Party Superstars and Animal Crossing, respectively. I thought evolving game was an interesting way to put that. Yep, yep.
What, Mario Party?
Animal Crossing.
Oh, I thought you said both of them were, and I was like, huh?
No, one of each. One of each.
Pick it up what you're putting down.
Yeah. All at once, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The next big to me release I'm looking forward to is March 16th. We have Tunic coming out, and I am looking forward to this game so much. It is. I am here for it. It's basically a Zelda like, but and a Link's Awakening in particular, But it's a fox, and he has a little sword.
He's very cute. It is cute.
Yeah. Right, yeah. And the graphics are lovely. Yeah. It's on your wish list. Mm-hmm. Well, that's fair. There's only so much time in a day, unfortunately. Oh, yeah? I mean, that's fair. Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to just gloss over it? All right, we'll just gloss. All right. Okay. So
on a space kick.
We'll just keep this on. We'll keep this on.
We're like Earth
on the down low.
No, no Earth. Bye bye. Yeah.
Okay, well, I will be playing Tunic basically the minute it comes out, just so as you know.
Are you gonna stream it?
No, because I'm actually taking a hiatus. I've decided.
Well, you did say that in the beginning.
Yeah, but I didn't say for how long. I think definitely at least the month of March. Just so I can put my energy into the podcast, because I was finding I wanted more hours in a day, and they don't happen. So you have to make space for things.
Makes sense.
Yeah. The last random piece of news on my list today is that today is the release of HBO's documentary about the GameStop stock drama. It's called Gaming Wall Street. It's narrated by Kieran Culkin. And if you have access to HBO, I think it promises to be a really interesting watch. Even though technically it's still ongoing. There was in the news just today about GameStop stock going up and down again for various reasons. I find the whole thing fascinating because we don't have independent day trading in Canada. And so, I don't know, it's sort of like, it's kind of a morbid curiosity, like you can't not look at a car crash, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I want to say that in the nicest way possible.
Wait, didn't y'all have EB Games?
Yes, we did.
It's the same thing. Well, until GameStop bought it. Depends on the year you're talking about, I guess. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right. Ugh.
Oh my, what?
Yeah, it was really not good. I mean, this happens a lot where American companies will buy out Canadian ones and then they'll just leave it for a few years, see whether it's worth the money they paid, and then rebrand everything.
Sounds like America. Colonized.
But then frequently after that, the American side of things goes bankrupt and then it's only left in Canada anyway. So we lose our own thing and then we have to keep the American one, such as the Source. So
yeah, again,
yep.
Sounds like the history of America. That's what we do.
Anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is a Babbage? Other than, a really old school computer.
I assume maybe it's like a mom and pop type game store. I have a few of them in my area, and if I can, I always prefer to go there. But I know not everybody has access to those.
Valvin says it was a big chain in the olden times.
I wonder where. I've never heard of it. Yeah, that was the good times.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder how much of the audience is like, what are they? What's a floppy disk?
What's a floppy disk? Yep.
Do a Google and have fun laughing at us. Enjoy.
You could call it a docudrama because that's kind of what it was when it played out, but yep, which is today.
Which is also the 5th anniversary of the Nintendo Switch.
I saw that. Yeah, we still like you.
Because they're 5, we would hate them now. Once you're 6, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, in defense of everybody not buying a Wii U, it was because of Nintendo's awful marketing, and everybody thought that the Wii U was an add-on for the Wii and not a whole new system, and nobody understood what was going on. It was the same thing with, like, a new Nintendo 3DS XL, and it's like, stop. Please?
Yeah.
Hire somebody to help you. This has gotta stop.
This is getting out of hand. Yeah.
But I think if they called the Wii U something else, it probably would have done better. But because, like, it's just weird and confusing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Super!
Yes. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, GameCube.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, big disc only.
I genuinely did not understand that it was a different system. I thought it might have been like the difference between like a PlayStation 1 and a PlayStation 2, which basically I didn't understand the difference between them either. I thought it was just a more advanced Wii. And I'm like, I don't need that.
Right.
I like the one I have.
That's exactly what happened.
So I just skipped it and waited until the Switch, and now here we are. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I I just need to jump in here because chat wants to know everybody's favorite Nintendo systems, and I just occurred to me we didn't even talk about the Game Boys.
Well, because those are handhelds. Handhelds are like a different thing to consoles. Because those names are even worse. Oh my god.
Yep. So I'm digressing. I was just trying to be a troublemaker, but yeah. Yeah. Um, I really, really liked my original Game Boy. Honestly. Mm-hmm. I had it for years and years, and I played it for years and years. The Switch is by far my favorite, though. Yeah.
This is an unpopular opinion, but the Wii was my favorite, and it was purely my favorite because I'm biased because I made mine spicy. So I had a Super Wii, and I could do so much. And I mess with Nintendo systems a very long time. The Wii, hands down, is the best capabilities in terms of doing whatever you want with that little machine. The amount of games that I can play on it is just you can't do that on any other Nintendo system. So I can foresee the Switch being able to overtake that if they stop being such buttheads and give us our old games.
Right?
I hope so, because they're so flaky when they're asked about it, and they're like, wait and see. And it's like, right, well, they're shutting down all the systems, the online systems for the Wii and the Wii U. So it's like we can't legally buy these games anywhere else for much longer. So y'all better figure it out.
I mean, there's some Wii games that I would totally pay money for again if they would just give them to me on the darn Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't.
Right, well, that's what's weird to me is that, like, we had GameCube and N64, and we had almost the whole catalog on the Wii, the Wii U eShop. Mm-hmm. So it's just,
other than milk bread.
Right, then fix the eShop. Give me themes. Give me what makes it a Nintendo system, because right now it's not.
I just want my Kirby's Big Yarn back. Epic Yarn.
Such a good game. It's so cute. Yeah.
I mean, I actually have an HDMI converter for my Wii, and I have considered more than once just plugging it in.
Oh, I've played my Wii U on stream. I've played Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival.
Oh, nice. Good call.
It's really fun.
Okay, so back to Steam Nextfest now that this digression is completely off the rails.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, did Biscuit
I guess. There? All right. Go for it, Biscuit.
I was
Take
like thinking. I was like, wait.
Go. Oh. Mm-hmm. What a pretty game.
That's where I discovered Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm. Steam Nextfest. The the little Google blurb for Steam Nextfest says it is a multi-day celebration where fans can try out demos, chat with developers, watch live streams, and learn about upcoming games on Steam. For developers, Steam Nextfest is an opportunity to get early feedback from players and build an audience for a future launch. It so far seems to be semi-annual, so hopefully we just had this one in February. Hopefully we'll have another one in October. I really like it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. Mm-hmm. I downloaded about 16 overall, and I ended up playing 10. Yeah. Mm. Okay. Cool. Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little wild child, and I may have just clicked through all of the demos, all the pages. I sat there for like 2 hours just looking at everything. And I downloaded like over 40.
Nice. How many do you think you played?
I got close to 30.
Wow.
So I don't have that much more to do. But I did 2 big streams of just hammering through demos, so it was fun.
How are we going to handle all of these entries?
I don't know. I don't sleep, so that's my solution.
Okay. Well, okay, here's my suggestion. Sammy takes the lead on going through these games, and we just jump in when we've played it.
Yeah, I have a little list. With like,
Excellent.
What are you saying to me, Steam? What is this? What? That wasn't there a minute ago? Okay. Here we go. Battlecakes. I know both of you played Battlecakes.
Yes, we did.
Battlecakes is fantastic. I don't care if you don't like RPGs. Go play Battlecakes. You'll like it. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're a cupcake, and you know, you like gotta protect your kingdom, and you know all the things you do in RPGs. But the big kicker is the customization for you to be a cupcake is ridiculous. They have all different kinds of hair types.
Yep.
All different kinds of like cosmetics, and they have mobility options for your cupcake and customization.
Amazing. Oh my goodness.
And a little cane, and like It's amazing.
I admittedly didn't go through them in nearly as much detail as I should have, because that's awesome.
Oh, I'm a sucker for customization, so I'm always want to get right in there. What do you got for me?
I gotta be honest.
So when I saw that, my jaw hit the floor, because you don't see that. You don't see disabilities like that being positively represented like as a normal thing in life, because people always treat disabilities like as a dirty thing or whatever. So it was just so refreshing and lovely to see.
Yep. I didn't actually realize it was an RPG until I started to play it. I thought it was just going to be a beat 'em up. I thought it was going to be like Cake Smash.
Oh, interesting.
And it wasn't, and I was like, oh.
No, it's a very it's RPG light, I'll say, because some RPGs are very heavy, very confusing, a lot going on. It's similar to like if you can play Pokemon, you can play Battlecakes. There's not too much to be too intense about.
Yeah.
The storyline is great. Smooth. So cute. Yes.
Very impressed. Do you have a score for it out of 10, Sammy?
I didn't score mine, because everything that I wrote on my list were games that I was definitely going to go back and buy. So any of these that I was going to go back and buy are already 10 out of 10. If you get my money, then you're done. You're in.
So it's just a check mark, and that's completely valid.
When I had almost 40 demos to go through, I had to... so...
I gave it a 9 out of 10, and the only reason it didn't get 10 was that I found the speed at which the characters are moving was a little frustrating to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope that becomes an adjustable option, in which case it will get 10 out of 10 from me. Yeah. Just a little.
Yeah, that's a common thing with a lot of the demos, was a lot of the controls were really wonky. But again, that's just something that comes with just developing the game more, getting more feedback, yada, yada, yada. So,
Battlecakes seems like
I definitely think that's going to be adjusted
in its development process. So I hope that becomes an option they consider, and we'll put that in my review, I guess. So...
Yeah, the lovely thing about indie game developers is that they're much more absorbent to listening to people who are gonna be potentially buying their games, so...
Yeah. Yep. Next game, Sammy.
Camp Canyonwood.
Yep, played that.
Okay, so, again, sweet customization right from the get-go. Love that. You can choose to have they, them pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah. Also, there's like non-human NPCs, and they also introduce themselves with their pronouns.
Yes.
You're a camp counselor, so you go around and you help all the little campers. You help them get their badges. It's like a survival craft, but it's like so cute.
Mm-hmm.
There's little questies. It's precious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tools? Yeah. 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 I definitely could have used a little more hand-holding on that one. Yeah, same. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hamster Playground?
I did not play it.
Oh my god. Okay, so if you've ever played Sonic Adventure Battle 2, there's a Chow garden, and you get to, like, adopt these little chows, and you get to, like, take care of them and dress them up, just do all these very cute things. And it's very reminiscent of that, because in Chow gardens, you used to do mini games to, like, level up your chows and make them stronger, faster, swim faster, fly farther, whatever. But in this one, you have a bunch of little hamsters, and they're in this little, like, fancy hamster enclosure, but it's kind of like The Sims, but hamsters, and, like, you get to dress them up, and you get to decorate the house, and you play little mini games with them, and it's just so cute.
Excellent.
Oh god, I'm buying that day one. I can't wait. It's precious. A what?
What is a VMU?
What's that stand for?
It reminds me of the time in 6th grade when a jerk boy asked me if I was Homo sapien, and I didn't know what to say. It was rude.
That's such a pathetic, like, joke. You can't even... Come on. Oh, yes, I did, Valvin. Yes, I did.
It was the
yeah, the little screen thing. Okay. Yup. Oh my god, that thing was incredible. Oh, I loved my Dreamcast. So good. Yeah. You put it in your Dreamcast controller. Kind of like you could take your Tamagotchi to go, but you had to load it from your game, but by putting it in your controller. Like, you know how in Pokemon Let's Go, you could put Pokemon in your little Pokeball? Similar to like that, but, in the 90s. Alright, next on the list is Relaxing Panda. I don't know if a lot of people saw this game, but I am a sucker for anything that has a panda in it, so I had to check it out. Very interesting. It needs a good chunk of work, but I think if it gets the good amount of chunk of work, it has a lot of potential to, like, be beneficial. Because it's not a game, quote unquote. It's more like a thing that you play to help learn mindfulness skills. Yeah, like, you do deep breathing stuff, and you do mindfulness stuff, and you do yoga, but you're also a little panda, and you run around town, and you do quests for people, but, like, part of doing the quest is, like, doing deep breathing, and doing stretches, and, like, so, like, I think it's got potential to be fun to, like, maybe start for, like, the first 30 minutes of stream. Everybody starts and, does their stretchies and their breathing, and then we move into whatever we're doing. Like, so I think, like, that has potential.
Doing these things?
It doesn't. Right now, it just assumes you are.
Alright.
So, I mean, you could not, but the point of the game is to, like, go with intention to be a relaxed panda. Mm-hmm. It's very, very cute. So, again, I think if it gets, the amount of work that it needs, it's got a lot of potential. I love that. Cool. After that is A Little to the Left.
Yeah, I played that.
Did you play this, Biscuit, or did you just watch me?
No.
Yes. The very, very, it's like puzzle light, I'll say, because I'm not a puzzle person, so it's got to be very, not too mind-bendy for me to play. Mm-hmm. So it's similar to, like, unpacking, where you have to organize things a specific way to get to the next portion.
I did need help, over-the-shoulder help with one of the puzzles, but it was quite satisfying when you did get it. It's very chill.
Like, one of them you had to organize a junk drawer, and I was like, oh, yes, give me in.
Was the one.
Give me. It was so good. Oh, yeah, then one of them, there was the cat. Yes. Oh, my God. If you had to, like, set a plate. But there was this cat who just kept trying to take the placemat.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't expect that element. It was a little bit of chaos, and I liked it.
Yeah, it was very cute. I'm very excited to play that when it comes out. It's precious. Very satisfying.
Yeah.
Cat Cafe Manager.
Oh. I didn't play that one either.
After I played this game, I searched the internet far and wide to find something else similar to scratch the itch because I need to play more of this game so bad. I've had to just like really try to just hyperfixate on something else, which is why I've gone back to space games because I really can't stop thinking about this game. I don't know what it is. It's just so fun. You're okay. Also, fantastic customization. You go in. There's lots of very funny NPCs. The dialogue is hysterical. It's so good. But you collect cats, and then you adopt the cats, and then you can get the cats forever homes out of your little cat cafe. But the way that you like build up your cafe is that like the different NPCs give you different materials. So you have to like advertise or decorate a certain way to get different NPCs to come in and pay with their type of material. So like it's much different than typical like restaurant managey simulator games. It's not just like click here's your drink, give me payment. Click here's your drink, give me payment. You know what I'm saying? Like there's more involved and you get to build up your cafe as you go. So like just the potential of all the decoration that I can do makes me very excited.
It sounds satisfying.
Like, it's something I could just chill out and grind and play and have a good time, but also, like, watch TV or, you know, whatever at the same time. And I love games like that. Very excited. After that is Dreamland Confectionary. This is a maybe buy, depending on how it progresses. Yeah. I like what they're putting down. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the concept is great because you make little desserts to make little pets, and then the little pets have little powers, and then you need to use the little pets' powers to complete quests. But the game is adorable. It's very beautiful. So it's got potential. I can feel it. All right, I got 3 more. Next is Doors Paradox.
I played it. It was so good.
I'm very excited to play more of that. Okay, so again, I'm picky about puzzle games, but I do like the I don't know if y'all ever played the Captain Toad ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like how you kind of had to like move the like world around to like solve the puzzle is very similar to that, except it's just a door. Yeah. And you have to figure out how to open the door. And you can move it around, zoom in and out, pick stuff up, move it around. But the graphics were so pretty.
So good. Oh my gosh. And so smooth.
Yeah, all the doors have different themes.
Resistance.
Yep. The second I saw it, I was like, oh, Biscuit's gonna love this one.
Yes.
That's excellent.
Ooh, apparently
it's out on Android? Say less. I'm downloading it right now.
Doors Paradox.
I'm getting it. How much? You can has.
Yep. I definitely gave that one a 10 out of 10. And it's due out on Steam in June. So it's not that long to wait. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Okay, so yeah, it is Doors Paradox, but it's like Doors Paradox Mobile, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's the same kind of thing, but it looks like the graphics are a little bit more cartoony, just like fit, being on mobile and things like that. But I think the one that comes out on Steam is going to be really legit. Also, I'm excited for potentially other people being able to make their own doors and upload them to the Steam Workshop.
Ooh.
I don't know if they are, but I hope so.
That would be neat.
I'm trying to find it. It's Lumbear something.
Lumbearjack?
That one. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It looks so cute. I didn't get a chance to play it.
Oh, it's so fun. Oh my god. Okay, so you're a Lumbearjack. You're a little bear. And your forest is being attacked by stinky humans doing their stinky human things, and you gotta chase them out of your forest. But it's kind of like Donut County, but the opposite. Whereas instead of swallowing things, you destroy things. But like that's kind of how you like clean up the landscape in that same sort of sense. And then like more of it unlocks and gets cleaned up. Like kind of like that. So fun, so cute. You upgrade your little weapons as you go. There's so many cute little critters you talk to. I'm so it's so cute. I'm very excited to play more. It's very satisfying to just go around and smash things and get the sticky humans out.
Mm.
And then the last one is Tinykin.
I watched you play this one. It looks so cute.
I tried to limit my demo time per demo to 30 minutes max on my stream. I played Tinykin for almost 2 hours. I played every inch of that demo. I couldn't put it down. I still can't stop thinking about it. It's
Mm-hmm. The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of world.
Yeah, it's like being in Toy Story. You're like the toy in Andy's room. You're very small. But it's also kind of like Pikmin, because you collect these little dudes, and they help you, like, do other stuff around and interact with different things. So you collect these little Pikmin-type characters to help you get around. But then you also have, like, this little double jump bubble. Jump it. You have, like, bubble powers. I don't know. It's just so cute. And it's also kind of reminds me of, like, Katamari, like, when you first start out in that first room and you're rolling around and you're very small and you're, like, trying to see what's going on. Day one, getting that one. Mine.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you go ahead, Biscuit? Yes. I watched the trailer before I played it, and it helped. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks so cute. April 12th. Yeah. Yeah, I gave this one an 8 out of 10. I really liked it. Once I did figure it out, it was actually really, like, it made a lot of sense to me. So I have high hopes. Yeah. Really? Oh. That's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay. That's a shame. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I always struggle with first-person games that way. They do often make me dizzy and a little bit motion sick, so... It's not first-person? Oh. Huh. Hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay. Okay, I've got a few. I played the demo for Fiasco Restoration and Repair, which looks like a really cool game.
I did play that, but wow, I was confused, but I had fun.
I
The painting one in the
This is the
garage where I was
one.
just making a mess. I didn't know what I was doing, so I just destroyed things. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I found it really challenging to figure out what they wanted me to do. And also some of the tools didn't make sense.
No, they didn't.
So I think this one needs a lot of work. And I hope that they get it and do it. Because it has a really cool concept. But like I found it really difficult to control. I found even moving around the room, I couldn't figure out how to move forward and back. Like the zoom was strange. You had to throw things. Like it was just odd to me.
It had a very like, this is a simulator game made in Unity controls.
Yes. Yes.
And it's very hard to get those to be smooth.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work, so it's not easy.
Yeah. I had hoped for more.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see how it develops. Another one that I wanted to be more enthused by and was a little disappointed was Pollito and Xiang, Adventure in the Forest. So it's a little duck and a little panda, and they get stuck on a planet, and they have to use each other's abilities to survive. And I love the idea of this because, one of them can jump and the other can't, one of them can push heavy things and the other can't, and you have to use the triggers to switch between the characters, or you can play multiplayer. I love all those concepts. I did find that some of the directions that they were giving didn't make sense. The camera was overly sensitive. And the localization text needs some work. I really, really wanted to like it. It's a really cute idea. But I didn't really. So I'm going to keep that one on the to watch list, but not wish list at this moment. One of them that I really liked was The Wandering Village. So the Wandering Village is it's a village sim, not unlike any other village sim or farming sim. But the conceit of this one is that the village is on the back of this giant beast. Did you ever see that episode of Doctor Who with the space whale? If you ever have seen that, that's what it reminded me of. The creature that it moves around on is very chill and very, like, unconcerned. It travels across the map, and you can, like, send out search parties and things to bring back resources to the village on the top of the creature's back, and you can, like, interact with the creature, and you have to keep it fed. It's a really cool idea, and it's really quite chill. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I know, me too. I'm also like,
yeah.
What's going on here? Let me see.
Yeah.
You said sim?
Yeah. No, it's a really nice looking...
The art style looks very cute.
Yeah, it's very simplistic in its design, but that adds to the aesthetic, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. It will be going into early access in the spring. So, so I'm just going up from here. I have two left. The next one I want to talk about is Puzzles for Clef. So, Puzzles for Clef is a beautiful, beautiful game. It's sort of a combination of Hoa and Wandersong. And it was so smooth to play, even though it wasn't controller, which is usually something that I really need. I was using keyboard controls, and they were so smooth. The puzzles were just hard enough to frustrate me. I played the whole demo. It took me 2 hours, because it's the entire first chapter. The graphics are lovely. The story is lovely. The puzzles are great. Like, I cannot say enough good things about this game. Absolutely a 10 out of 10 for me. Unfortunately, because the development team is in Ukraine, it may not make it out this year. So it will stay happily on my wish list until it is ready. The music is great. Like, the dialogue, oh, so good. So good. And then the last one I wanted to talk about is A Tale of Paper. Oh my goodness, it's good. I don't even know what to compare it to. You're this little paper person who is magicked alive, and you can turn into various shapes, such as a paper ball or an origami frog, and those give you temporary abilities to get through your environment. And there are, like, maze-like puzzles and a shallow 3D environment. Like, you can't go too far in and out, but it is mostly side to side.
Right, it's kind of like if Little Nightmares and Kirby and Limbo kind of all had a baby that was a little more less scary.
Yes, that is a fantastic description. Yeah. So I didn't expect it to be built in the Unreal Engine, and so as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, this could be interesting. And I have to say, it was absolutely the best choice. This game is stunning. There's no dialogue, and it doesn't matter. It's just, oh my gosh, it's beautiful and easy to play and not scary. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for this game. Mm-hmm.
Right, that's why I'm like, it's kind of got like, I feel a similar gameplay style to how you explore and do things in Little Nightmares, but it's not scary like Little Nightmares.
The only antagonist, and it's not much of a spoiler since this is only the first chapter, but the only antagonist is that there's an evil Roomba that tries to eat you. That's it. Yeah. I'm really excited for it. that's my list. That's all the ones that I got through. I have a few more that I haven't played yet. What's on that list? I still haven't yet had the chance to play Trash Panda, but I'm gonna. I'm still gonna play Agra Life. I'm still gonna play Dragon's Wandering Tavern. And I'm still gonna play the demo for Mail Time, but that's just because I've already backed Mail Time on Kickstarter and I want it now. So uh-huh. Yes. Yeah. Sold.
Because we have to escape reality, and we don't want to do it on planet Earth. It makes sense.
No.
It adds up.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea. You should play it. I recommend. Mm-hmm. Hush. Interesting. I have to look this up. I don't actually recognize that one. Mm-hmm. Oh. Hmm. It's very cute. Hmm. Very good. You should be able to. Yeah, like there are so many good demos to talk about that we probably didn't even get to. I can't wait for the next one. Hopefully. Yeah. That's fair. I mean, I've still got a heck of a lot of Pokemon to play, so you're in good company. Yeah. I know, what a hard life it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. No. Well, you sort of can. If you want to.
There is an ending.
There is an ending. You can keep playing, but there is an ending.
Not in the same way that there is Animal Crossing, though.
Right.
It's different.
It's start a new farm.
Stardew doesn't. Yeah, Stardew doesn't have an ending, but you can complete it. You can 100% a save file.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that's the same for Cozy Grove. You can 100% an island on Cozy Grove, I guess is the way to say it.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I don't see the problem here. You have endless entertainment.
It's true. I mean, we play games because we enjoy them. There's no reason to stress about the ones you haven't played.
Yeah, or finished, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Biscuit likes the numbers.
That's fair. I have my games... Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We did. The second time I ever played Raft, I finished it.
Oh my gosh.
Biscuit is like my video game soulmate. I've never met anybody in my life who can spend like 10 hours playing one game with me and just grinding the whole thing out. Like, nobody can do that like I can. And I'm like, oh my god, somebody can do it like I can.
Amazing. It's so good. You found your true soul mirror.
Mm-hmm. It's the best.
Oh, that is a delight. Oh, yes, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. The only criteria is that it has to be arguably wholesome. And by arguably means you need to explain why you think it's wholesome and win us over. Such as with games such as Phasmophobia. When I made our friend Kristen defend why it's a wholesome game on an earlier episode of this show. Yeah, I know. Look, I've been won over, but I needed it defended. like a thesis. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Thanks for having me again.
That looks like the plan. Oh, it's going to be a delight. Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead.
You'll find me all the places under Highfroggychair. I'm on almost every social media. You'd be hard pressed to not to find me.
Excellent. We like that ease. Okay. Yes, last week's episode, I think, is it? Was posted today on the audios and the YouTubes. You can also check out our Ko-fi account, coffee account, also at the Petal Cafe. I think it is spelled Ko-fi, but it's supposed to be coffee because you're buying a coffee. Is the idea? You know, like the way that websites try to make themselves sound like other things. Mm-hmm. 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 Yay! Yay! Thank you. Mm-hmm. But I do like the idea of Ko-Fi beats to chill to. All right. Thanks, friends.
Toodaloo.